right, guys, Coach Jamie coming at you from downtown Las Vegas with her No Bullshit Jamie Letchworth podcast. Thank you for tuning in, guys. It's a beautiful Saturday, and I am grateful to be here to share my message and for any of my listeners that tune in to see what I got to say for this week. I like to always chime in. Sometimes I'm featuring a guest, and I have to tell you, I have guests that are booked, and I am super excited to be highlighting all these strong human attributes of people that I know all throughout the valley here and have the opportunity to cross paths with. But every now and then, I like to come in solo. I got a lot of ideas that flow through my brain, and I think when you do something, you should do it for pure enjoyment. And I thought a lot about why I like to podcast and I love this platform because it's like a still shot frame of whatever is in my brain in this stage of my life. Like, in a very selfish way, I get to document me, I guess, and this part of my journey. And I think it's a really cool opportunity because as I get older, I'll literally be able to hear my words or see what I look like and the emotion behind them at this particular part of my life. And there's always a reason or a rhyme behind why I come in and like to feature a specific topic or whatnot. And again, I just like to say I'm grateful to have this opportunity and this platform. So per usual, guys, I'm coming at you with what I'm learning, what I'm doing, and where I'm going. And I am so excited to take anybody with me that also wants to grow. GROW. I think this platform is my favorite too because it allows me to express that strong human training, the brand I stand behind, is not a fitness and nutrition program. It is truly a growth program where we utilize the awesome tools of fitness, nutrition, reflection for you to grow to be one's best self. And like I always say, per usual, my best self is different from your best self, and so on and so forth. But if you want to grow, if you are a dreamer, if you are a doer, thank you for tuning in and come with me. Let's take this journey together. This week, guys, and I think it's really cool for me to share. And I'm an avid reader, but I'm kind of like a junkie reader. Like I feel like I can't just read one book at a time. It's funny because I was talking to my sister about this the other night, and lo and behold, she is the same. So at night, I've really gotten into reading some kind of fiction, something. And I haven't always been a fiction reader. Now every night, I've been, instead of tuning in to like a movie or something, I've been reading a fiction book. During the day, I'm still really into something nonfiction, something that helps me grow, something that helps me learn, something that inspires me, motivational, whatever you call it. That's usually like my day read. So I want to feature this week's like inspo comes from an author named Mira Kirschenbaum, and I am really sorry if I butchered your last name, but let me tell you, I love your book, Everything Happens for a Reason. In a nutshell, or the way that I took it, what's really cool is it's just the way that I interpret this message. I really love to notate books like this too, whatever motivational, inspirational, anything that's nonfiction. I love to do like little notations in it. Because if it is a really, really good book, I'll go back and I'll read it maybe a couple months later, a couple years later, or I'll want to pull notes out of it and use it for some inspiration in a blog, so on and so forth. So I really like it when you go back and reread anything and you see why you underlined something the first time and then maybe something else jumped out at you the second time, right? So that's what's really cool, just a little tidbit about me and how I guess I go about my junkie reading. But anyway, so Mira Kirschenbaum wrote this book, Everything Happens for a Reason. One of the big things I took out of it were tidal waves. Now, I love the beach. If you do know me, I love the beach. I was married on the beach, toes in the sand. I love water. I like to be out in the sunshine. I'm a summer girl. And so I love, like, I connected with this tidal wave, like, concept that she introduced. And when you think of, like, a big wave or a big storm, that comes in, right? There's always this big storm and everything gets disheveled and you know, buildings can crash down and there could be like mass destruction, right? But after every storm, there's a calmness. And in the calmness, there's like beauty. There's beauty in the way that Mother Nature can stir the world up and then just have this calmness that comes afterwards. I loved it. It really stuck with me. So and then obviously the concept of the book is like if you come at these, if you think about the things that may have happened in your life that were troublesome. Maybe grief or pain or sorrow, or you overthought it, or it could be big, it can be small. The universe is like calling you and is like trying to wake you up for some reason. Like it's a wake up call. Oftentimes I think though, if you're not a person that maybe likes to think about the universe like that, or you might not even hear these wake up calls. But this is why I love reading books like this, because it makes you think, right? The whole idea and a huge element of our training program is reflect, right? Like think about it. So whenever you read anything, think about it. But anyways, I loved that if you were to, instead of dwell on whatever XYZ situations that may have brought you to this part in your life, like what is good or beauty that could come out of it? Like what did you learn that you can apply going forward? So I really loved like this tidal wave theory that she talked about, and I'm not even sure the words that she exactly put to it, but something to remember. If something is troubling you at this specific time in your journey, what can you learn going forward? And it's all about like your perspective, right? And you could flip the perspective. You could flip how the script is supposed to end. So you have the power to do that, and the universe is behind you. Anyways, so that was off on a little tangent. But another little fabulous piece that I love is I'm a true romance kind of girl. Titanic, my God, it's one of my favorite movies. But even like, I've always believed in fairy tales. I've always wanted the fairy tale, and like if you think of all of your like classic Disney movies, right? Like Little Mermaid, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Cinderella. There were all these beauties but what I love is every one of them had a tidal wave. There was always like something that troublesome that happened, and then after they got over that, there was this calmness in the storm, and it was this fairy tale moment, right? This romantic story that overcame adversity and troubles and pain or grief or whatever it may be, right? Bambi, I think that's even another one. So I loved like intertwining these two concepts together, because I am a true romantic, and I do have the fairy tale. And I think, and so this is, I'm going to try to find words for this. I think it's always hard to embrace your own fairy tale. If you've watched I did this podcast where I had a good friend interview me. I have been with my best friend and my partner since I was 12 years old. And this June 2nd, by the way, will be our 13-year anniversary, right? And for some people, when I'm thinking about my grandmother and my grandfather or my tia Karina, 13 years is like a little chip in your story, right? And then to me, though, it's like substantial. It's huge. There's a teen behind it. So I'm super pumped, by the way. I thought about all of our ebbs and flows in our journey lately. Like I've been reflecting a lot about my own love story. And I think it's really cool because this platform also allows me to document just a piece, a snippet of my love story per se. And I'm a writer, and I love to write my thoughts on paper too. And just a fun little fact, we started like this little communication journal, and I started documenting, this part of my journey and this part of my love story. Anyways, when I think about our love story, I think there's parts of it that I took for granted. And, and after I put some, perspective to it and stuff, I'm grateful for all the hard times. But while you are in the hard time and you're in that storm, it may seem like I was never going to come out. And I think I can be like, people can become very self-centered, and they're only seeing themselves in the storm versus us in the storm. And then maybe not. Maybe, this was my own personal experience or this moment in time in my love story, I guess I'm gonna say. But things that I've learned and things that I've reflected is that those hard times were truly what brought me here to this specific moment, right? So where I am in this place in my love story, in my Little Mermaid fantasy land right now, the water is really calm, and I've appreciated and I've thought about all these storms that have came in, and I love every single one of them because we grew together. So I'm taking it back to Mira Kirschenbaum and her book, and I'll attach the link below. She talks about the elements of real love, right? And sometimes, like I said, I could be very self-centered, and I'm catching myself to undo this bad habit of thinking about me. But she says Elements of Real Love, it's about how your partner makes you feel about yourself. It's about becoming true to yourself with your partner. It's about how great you can become beside your partner. It's about how your partner helps you love yourself, how much your partner makes you feel at home when you are with each other. I think the last part is my favorite, um, because the warmth of my lifelong partner, like just sitting on the couch and like watching a rerun of a movie that we've seen a million times or something. I like that moment. I like it's priceless. I like complete silence sitting with him. And so I don't know. I wanted to share this as this week's topic, that maybe you are in the middle of a storm right now. And I think maybe if I heard this in some of my storms, it like, the storm will come to an end, and there'll be beauty to be seen at the end of it. But it's only if you allow yourself to feel it, to open up your eyes, to take it in, and to learn from it going forward. So as I approach June 2nd and our 13th anniversary, Baron Mitchell Letchworth Jr., I dedicate this one to you and our love story. Thank you for tuning in to my my corny version of My Little Mermaid. Gosh, I love that one. I'm thinking, my mermaid hair. Yeah, so that was my little gem for this week. That's what I'm learning right now and what I'm like, I don't know, going on. So let's talk about where I'm going, guys. Like I said, I'm going to be having a guest speaker once a month coming into the studio. Next month, I have Miss Danny. She is an indie author, guys, and she self-published her very first book, The Last Nurse. I'll also attach that gem down below. And then I have guests lined up for every month, but let me tell you, I'm looking for you. I'm looking for women. I'm looking for women that grind out their day-to-day life, but they don't forget their dreams, and they aren't just dreamers, they are doers. I want to spotlight you. I want to spotlight your strong human attributes. I want to know about how you tackle your everyday to-dos, but while staying true to yourself and chasing those wild dreams. How do you chase those wild dreams in that 2-year-old and set up stage, all that good stuff? I want to spotlight you, your hard work, and your strong human attributes. I'll attach my email down below, and if this speaks to you and you have a story to tell and you think it could help a woman that is like you, or maybe you 5 years ago, let me tell your story with you. Go ahead and send me a little snippet about what you do and why you want to share. So that's also down below. So, and last but not least, if anything I say on any of these podcasts speak to you or may speak to somebody you love, my mission is just to help the world be a happier, healthier place, but that cannot be done alone. So share this link, share this episode, or anything that speaks to you, share it with a friend and pass me around. Okay. And I think on that note, guys, what I'm working on the back end, I say it every time, but I'm building a course. One of the tools of being a strong human is taking care of yourself, and that means many different things, but I, of course, love food, and I love that nutrition and everything that she does for you, and Mother Nature is a badass, and she, we don't think about all the things she put on this earth and how it's, one of the world's, or one of, it is, some of the best medicine. So Eat to Live nutrition course, guys, I'm still going to talk about it because I'm still grinding away, coming to you soon. And I think on that note, guys, much love, Coach Jay. Jamie Letchworth, no bullshit. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple iTunes, Instagram, Life's Peachy, and of course, www.stronghumantraining.com. I'm out.